Two Louisiana lawmakers vowed to change how the state checks for lead paint in daycares after a Fox 8 investigation exposed a lack of state oversight.
Both tell Chris Joseph that the fix is common sense in this new Lead Astray investigation.
For a year, Olivia and Alika UN watched their daughter, a vibrant 2-year-old, thrive at the Crescent School in Algiers.
We had some really amazing experiences at this community-run school, some really beautiful moments our daughter really enjoyed.
They thought it was a safe haven until doctors gave their daughter a devastating diagnosis.
You are feeling so much as a parent, so much fear and anxiety about what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, and then you're flooded with the next 24 years going to look like.
This summer, the UN say their little girl was hospitalized with lead poisoning. Now, for them, the future is scary to think about.
How will this impact fertility? How will this impact her aging? Those are things that you can spiral really fast thinking about.
The CDC reports lead can slow child development and damage the brain.
I've thought about this, how I would describe it is like a scream being trapped in your chest.
The UN say they didn't know about the lead on campus until this summer, when a pediatrician found spiked lead levels in their daughter's blood during a routine checkup. That triggered an inspection of the school and the UN's home days later. The UN's provided records showing investigators didn't find lead at their home. State investigators say they found lead in the school building and on its grounds.
It was really hard for me to hold it together.
The state shut down the school after the inspectors found the lead. State law requires owners of new daycares to test their properties for lead if their grounds haven't already been assessed for lead since 1978. Fox 8's Lead Astray series found state investigators reported no lead paint inspection ever took place before the daycare opened, and state law doesn't require state agencies to check if the school's owner got a lead inspection before allowing the daycare to open for students in 2024.
To feel a failure point in this scenario and in people and systems that you trusted is extremely angering and extremely disappointing as well.
The UN's daughter tested positive for lead poisoning a year later. Liza Drennan is the owner of the Crescent School.
I trusted, like I said, and I don't know how many times I can say, is I trusted the Department of Health and I trusted the Department of Education to not only make sure that I did everything, but also to say, hey, did you do this? Hey, you missed this. They're supposed to help me because it's not just helping me, it's helping a school.
Drennan had to complete this Department of Education checklist before opening. That list includes getting a Department of Health inspection, but that inspection didn't check for lead. The department says it does not check for lead at schools or restaurants before they open. The health department recommended Drennan get her license to open her daycare in April 2024. The Department of Education also gave Drennan the okay to open up weeks later.
You put your trust in a system, and a system has a law to make it to a regulation, which should make it to a checklist for a business owner to follow, and that system was not there, and it did feel very disappointing.
In our daily lives as legislators, we come across gaps in laws or existing laws that quite frankly fail to utilize common sense.
Republican State Senator Patrick McMath chairs the Senate's Health and Welfare Committee. He wants to require daycare owners to report that they've completed lead testing to the health department before the state can give a daycare the green light to open.
We're going to fix this. In fact, I've already advised my staff to start drafting legislation. This will probably be the first bill that I drop in the 2026 regular session. Thanks to your reporting, by the way. And it's really, it's pretty simple. I think the owner of the facility is going to be required to test for lead and then provide those results.
It appears McMath will have help across the aisle. Democratic State Senator Gary Carter, who represents Algiers, wants to see change and explore which state agency should enforce the lead inspections.
Whether it's the Department of Education, whether it's the Department of Health, or whether or not it's the Department of Environmental Quality, the state of Louisiana needs to make certain that these inspections are taking place before schools open.
Carter says the LDH reported to him that 18 out of 27 children at the Crescent School had elevated lead levels. We've asked the department to confirm how many children were impacted. It has not responded.
I'm very concerned about those kids. I'm concerned about their long-term health. I care for their parents, and I want to make sure that those kids receive the testing and treatment that they need, and to make certain that this doesn't happen again.
The LDH says the Crescent School is the only school since 2013 which triggered a department-led inspection. The UNs are now suing the school, the state, and the building's owners over the poisoning. Their attorney, Megan Kiefer, welcomed the news of a potential change in the law.
We're encouraged to hear some very common sense solutions being proposed by the legislature and applaud them for that. It would be certainly very simple to have a property owner, a business owner who is getting a license from the state to operate a daycare to prove that they've done what they're supposed to do.
For the UNs, it's a common sense step that comes too late.
I don't think that it seems unreasonable to ask that if there's a law that is in place to protect the well-being of some of our most vulnerable citizens.
Lawmakers say it's time to make sure those vulnerable citizens are not put at risk again. In New Orleans, Chris Joseph, Fox 8, Local First.
State lawmakers return to session next March and could vote on a solution then. The UN say that their daughter remains under medical supervision.